Okay, so in this video we are going to find out the perimeter for this objects that are given below. And just to reiterate, perimeter is the length along the boundary of an object, of a closed object. So now let us start with this example A. And the way we proceed ahead is that we just take up a point. Let us say that we take a point this in the figure A, and then we go along this figure till that we reach our starting point, which is going to be this point A, and we add up the lengths of the line segments. So when I go from point A to the next point along this segment, that is this path, point A to point B, so I will be covering 4 centimeters. Then point B to point C, we cover 2 centimeters, so I'm adding up 2 here. Then we go from point C to the next corner, which is point D, we add up 1 centimeter, and then we come back from D to the starting point, which is A, and in that case we will be covering 5. And when I add up these, 4 plus 2 is 6 and 1 is 7, and 7 plus 5 gives us 12 centimeter. So let me just, 4 plus 2 is 6 and 1 7 and 5 is 12 centimeter. Therefore the perimeter of this is 12 centimeter. Now let us have a look at figure B. In this case again we will follow the same rule, that is, we just pick up one point and travel along the periphery and we add the sum of the sides, or in simple words we simply add the length of the sides of an object to get perimeter. Therefore we will take up this length here, which is 23. Then we take up the length of this segment, which is 35. Then we add the length of this segment downwards, which is 40, and then we again add the length of the remaining line segment, which is 35. So you can see that we covered the entire boundary, and now when we add this up, we have 23 plus 40, just simplifying, we have 63, and 35 plus 35 gives me 70, and when I add this, what we get is 133 centimeters. So I'm just writing it here in the middle of the figure. 133 centimeters is the perimeter for this object. Now let us look at C. Now here we will use some observation. What I can see is that the length of all the sides is same. Therefore this is a regular shape, and if you can recollect, this is a rhombus. Now we discussed earlier that the perimeter of a regular shape is nothing but the number of sides n multiplied by the length of a side. So we can straight away use this rule here. So n in our case becomes 4 and the L becomes 5. So it's 15 centimeter. 4 times 15, which gives us 60 centimeter. Therefore 60 centimeter is the perimeter for the figure C. Now let us go to the figure D, and again it is a similar case, because you can observe that the length of all the sides are same and there are 5 sides. So this is a regular pentagon, and applying our earlier learnings, that is the number of sides multiplied by the length of the sides, the n, for n we have 5 sides and the length of each side is 4, and therefore the perimeter that we get is 20 centimeters. So in this case I'll just write down the perimeter of this figure is 20. Now let us move over to the figure F. And now this figure F looks a bit complicated, because if we are just using our method of going along the periphery and finding out the sum of all the sides, it might get complicated. So what we try to do is we observe and see if there are common things. Now it is very obvious in this case that this figure is made up of 4 similar type of shapes. So if you observe, you have, this is, you can say, one L type of shape here, then this is another L, Of course it is rotated differently. Then you have this third L type of shape, and this is our actual L type of shape. So it is made up of 4 these type of shapes. Now just look, if the dimensions of all these L's are same, what I need to do is to find out just the perimeter of one of these and multiply it by 4, and therefore it makes my calculation easier. So we are just looking towards simplifying the solution of this problem. Okay, of course we can do using the method that we have learned by going around around the entire figure, but that would be long. So let us just proceed to find out the shape of this L over here, and then we'll just multiply it by 4. So we have 1 centimeter, then we have 3 over here, we have 2. Okay, and on this side we have 4 and we have 3. So when I add these, that is, we will be adding 3 plus 4 plus 1 plus 3 plus 2. So this gives us 7. 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11, and 11 plus 2 gives me 13 centimeter. Now this is just the distance that will be covered if I go along one such shape, but we have 4 such. So perimeter can be simply found out by multiplying 13 by 4, and this will give us 4 3s are 12, carry out 1, and we have 52 centimeters. So the perimeter for this is 52 centimeters. Okay, now let's have a look at the figure E, and in this case it is the shape of an arrow. So here again we can try to do the calculations quickly, trying to simplify. So let's start here. So what we have is, there are 2 sides, these 2 sides, they have the same length. So just I want to reiterate that the perimeter is nothing but the sum of the sides of the object. So now we have 2 same sides, so I can straight away write 2 multiplied by 4. Let me just write it over here. So, or where do I find space? Okay, 2 multiplied by 4 plus, now these 2 will be added, then we have 0.5 into 0.5, so these 2 are same. So 0.5 multiplied by 2 gives us 1 centimeter, and then I have 2.5 into 2.5, so these 2 are, so we have 2 times 2.5, and then this 1 centimeter which remains, so it is again plus 1. Now when we simplify this, 2 times 4 is 8, this one is added to this one, it becomes 2, and 2 times 2.5 is 5, so we get 15 centimeter. Therefore the perimeter of this shape is 15 centimeter. So just some observations on based on the solutions that we did here. First thing is, we should try to look at whether it's a regular shape or not. If it's a regular shape, that is, the length of all the sides are same, we straight away use the rule for finding the perimeter of a regular shape, which is n times L, and where L being the length of the side of the regular shape. Second, we saw that we can simplify the problems of finding perimeter if we try to observe common parts and then just use that to calculate the perimeter, as we did in figures F and E. Okay, so with that, see you soon.